As you know, many are mourning the loss of game show legend, longtime The Price is Right host Bob Barker. He died at the age of 99.
That's right. Danya Backus takes a look back at his life and legacy.
America's #1 television fun game.
Truth or Consequences made Bob Barker a household name.
Just like that.
But his 18-year run on that game show was just the beginning.
He's the star of the new Price is Right.
In 1972, Barker took over The Price is Right and made it the longest-running game show in TV history. Contestant kisses became one of its trademarks. So did Barker's sign-off.
Have your pets spayed or neutered. Goodbye, everybody.
Barker was also a longtime animal activist. He hosted the Miss USA pageant, but stepped down after 22 years when organizers refused to stop giving fur coats as prizes. He later paid close to $900,000 to fly elephants from the Toronto Zoo to an animal sanctuary in Northern California. The game show host's love for animals began when he was growing up on an Indian reservation in South Dakota.
Mom was looking for me. She'd look for a pack of dogs. And she said, if I could see the dogs, I knew that's where he was.
Barker didn't just give away prizes. He won 19 daytime Emmys as game show producer and host during his record run on national TV.
Come on down.
In 2007, after 35 years, Bob Barker made his last regularly scheduled appearance on The Price is Right.
He said goodbye, and it was tough.
Stand by. Here's the star of The Price is Right. Open it.
It was a memorable moment in a legendary career that lasted more than 50 years. Danya Backus, CBS News, Hollywood.
I've enjoyed the whole thing. I really have.
And now here's the star of The Price is Right, Bob Barker.
I have been blessed in that I have had 50 years doing something that I have thoroughly enjoyed, and I've been paid for it. How good can you have it?
99-year-old TV icon Bob Barker passed away last Saturday from natural causes at his longtime home in the Hollywood Hills. That's where the last photo of him was taken, sitting in a wheelchair in February of 2021, enjoying the sunshine on the front lawn.
Where am I going to be? I hope I'm up there looking down on the whole thing. I'd hate to think I'm looking up.
At Bob's request, there will be no funeral or memorial service. E.T. last spoke to him in 2017.
I think that show would be hard to beat, the rapport that we had. It was just a joy.
It was 10 years after he retired from The Price is Right, which he hosted for almost 35 years.
I'm often asked, what do I miss the most about it? And I tell them the money. That's what I miss the most.
He had a great sense of humor.
Today, we're learning more about Bob's final days. E.T. spoke exclusively with Janice Pennington, one of the original Barker's Beauties models on the game show, and Roger Neal, his longtime publicist. He says Bob's girlfriend of 40 years, Nancy Burnett, was always at his side.
I can't stress enough the great care that Nancy took care of him. I mean, it was around the clock. And for the fact that he got to stay in his home and live in his home, the same house since the 1950s, and to be able to be at home when he passed, it was very fortunate.
How did he live out those final years?
I think very happy. He loved his home, he loved his animals, and I really think he liked his quiet life.
And the nurses all doted on him. You know, they were they just loved Mr. Barker. And I said to the nurses before I left, I said, you know, you're taking care of the world's greatest MC, and he is a legend. And he said, I'll agree to that, and started laughing. So it was great.
It was that trademark sense of humor that helped Bob face a number of health problems in his later years, including both prostate and neck surgery.
I had a carotid artery that had become blocked, and I had some surgery from which I've recovered very well, thank you. And I am back at work, and we're grinding out one hit after another.
In 2015, he suffered a frightening fall on the sidewalk outside his home.
So I twisted and landed right over here, but my head was up on the cement, and so I cut my head all up
and cut my knee and scraped it.
Saw him a few weeks ago briefly. He looked terrific as you could look to be 99 and almost 100.
I'm constantly looking for a contestant with whom I can get laughs.
I had a dream about you, so I had to come down here.
What were we doing in the dream?
You were chasing me in the hayloft.
Bob got his big showbiz break hosting Truth or Consequences back in 1956.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
And I became the host of a national television show just overnight.
16 years later, in 1972, Bob landed the job that made him a TV icon and got him 19 Emmys, the most of any game show host.
Who's this little dude?
That little guy is Bob Barker.
Janice treasures her countless memories with the legend.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, you're going to make me cry. I don't know. There was just so many, you know. He was just, yeah, one of a kind, so.
And if you could say one more thing to Bob.
You're the best. Nobody will ever come close to you.
What was it like working with Bob?
It was like a party every day. The audience was very excited, you know. You looked forward to going to work every day.
What is his legacy?
Oh, my gosh. He was just so loved. He loved it. They loved it. They always jumped on him. He loved those moments with contestants because you never knew what they were going to say.
Drew Carey, come on down.
In 2007, Bob handed over the skinny mic to Drew Carey.
I thought this was just a good time to quit.
Drew, one of many celebs paying tribute, posted, "Very sad. There hasn't been a day on set that I didn't think of Bob Barker and thank him. I will carry his memory in my heart forever." Bob told us the advice he gave his successor.
Don't imitate me. Don't imitate any other host. Do it his way.
Fellow TV host Tom Bergeron shared these pics, captioned, "On weekends, when we'd shoot Hollywood Squares on the same stage The Price is Right shot on weekdays, I used his dressing room."
Vanna White, come on down.
And yeah, that's Wheel of Fortune's Vanna White as a young contestant back in 1980. She wrote, "Thank you, Bob, for introducing me to the game show world. We will miss you."
How do you keep in such marvelous shape?
Well, I'm a vegetarian, and I try to get my rest, and I drink.
That sounds like a nice start for my life. I'm going to change it all over to that.
One of Bob's most iconic gigs off The Price is Right set, Happy Gilmore with Adam Sandler in 1996. His first ever movie role, and that fight, just comedy gold.
I don't want a piece of you. I want the whole thing.
E.T. was on set where at 72 years young, he did his own stunt work.
Let's go.
So I suggested that, and they're letting me do it myself. I'm pleased. Here's a young man who watched me as he was growing up, and look at him, he's a star. He's a success.
See, that's what
it could happen to you if you watch me on television.
Price is wrong.
Now you've had enough.
Referencing that quip, Julie Bowen honored her co-star, revealing it was Adam who convinced him to do it. Quote, "Bob was kind and polite and had declined to say the line, but he got swept up in the hilarious fight scene and he just said it." And from Adam, quote, "Loved laughing with him, loved him kicking the crap out of me. He will be missed by everyone I know. Heartbreaking."
At my age, rolling around with this 26, 28-year-old guy, I thought I would die. I was all right.
Now I think, where do we go to see Bob Barker?
Reruns of Happy Gilmore.
Yet the cameos kept coming.
E.T., come on down.
To The Price is Right. Nice suit.
Thanks, Dad.
Here is...
In 2007, E.T. was back on set as Bob played himself in How I Met Your Mother.
I'm sure you'll do just fine, son.
Did you just...
I had no idea how much fun it would be. And I think I'm going to adopt Neil.
Who gets the chance to be on The Price is Right?
Bob also crashed in Everybody Loves Raymond table read and delivered his signature Price is Right sign-off with a twist.
Please, have this staff spayed or neutered.
But perhaps his favorite role was that of devoted husband to his wife of 36 years, Dorothy.
We had our first date
November 17th, 1939, in Springfield, Missouri.
Bob was just 15 years old, but it was an instant love. They remained together until 1981 when she passed away from lung cancer at the age of 57.
He would go every year at Christmas time and put a Snoopy Christmas tree on Dorothy Jo's grave.
It is there, next to Dorothy's grave, that Bob will be quietly laid to rest. And while he vowed to never remarry, Bob did find love again in 1983.
I've spent a lot of time with Nancy Burnett.
Any wedding bells?
No, and not at my age.
And I know he loved her. She cared deeply for him. The last 5 years of his life, she was just completely devoted to making sure that his health care, that his care on a daily, around-the-clock basis was the top, and it was.
Nancy paid tribute to her love, telling E.T., quote, "I am so proud of the trailblazing work Barker and I did together. We were great friends. He will be missed."
If I had to tell you who was maybe one of the most positive influences on his life, it would be his wife, Dorothy Jo, and Nancy.
Bob and Nancy actually met at an animal adoption event. Throughout their 40 years as boyfriend and girlfriend, they advocated for animals, organizing protests, and he donated $25 million to establish an animal charity, which Nancy ran.
Well, I've always loved animals. I felt compelled to try to do what I could to change the situation.
This is Bob Barker reminding you to help control the pet population and have your pets spayed or neutered. Goodbye, everybody.
Of course, we all know Bob's famous sign-off, but did you know he stopped dyeing his hair because the products were tested on animals?
Lady in the back row says she loves my hair. Do you like it? Do you like it? Release those elephants and let them go into a sanctuary. We have to make people aware. They don't realize how much suffering is going on in the animal world.
Any animal that came in Bob Barker's path was a lucky animal. He used to send a limousine to put an animal in there to go to the vet hospital. He'd send them in a limo.
Now look up there and smile. There you are.
We need more voices like mine, and we need more voices, period. I think that the fact that I have the opportunity to be with you on Entertainment Tonight is important.
Bob also took on movie studios, demanding the ethical treatment of animals on set.
When you go to the movie theaters and you see on the screen no animals were harmed in the making of this film, that's because of Bob Barker's work and Nancy Burnett's work.
I would like to have them remember me as a man who loved all living things and did all he could during his life to make ours a better world for animals, and at the same time did a lot of television shows.
He was so comfortable in front of a camera and on the Price is Right stage. He was so good at relating to people and getting them to be relaxed and be themselves.
He could just always build tension and then make somebody laugh, you know, when they're losing their mind. And it's so amazing to just watch him work.
Welcome to The Price is Right.
He never seemed stressed. He always seemed in control, like everything was going to be fine. I don't always think like that, but I can fake it through an hour.
Drew Carey is in his 17th season of hosting The Price is Right. George Gray is still at the podium as the show's announcer, but the legendary game show is saying goodbye to Studio 33 after 51 years and hello to a new home.
Hi, team. Welcome to The Price is Right. I'm your host, Drew Carey. I want to show you the new set we have for our brand new season.
Much of the show's studio looks similar, but the 10-mile move was a big undertaking. There were 137 truckloads to transport the games and backings, and it took another 8 truckloads to move the set. As for the changes,
we have a brand new audience seating. I'm very excited to have a live audience again. We changed contestants' row, so now people aren't down. They're on the same level as me, and there's no stairs to come up. And we made all these light bulbs plastic instead of glass because some people got excited and they would put their arms on it and break the glass. So we got rid of that.
The daytime show returns Monday on CBS, and The Price is Right at Night kicks off October 2nd with a special Survivor-themed episode.
It's just average people having the best day of their lives, and that's the secret sauce of the whole show.
It's the one sport where you don't cheer against the other team. Price is Right, you cheer for the person that got picked instead of you. And so when you've got more people, you've got more information. Don't it's not the cream corn. Don't do it. So it's really fun to see that.